What's up guys, Ronele here. In this quick tutorial I'm gonna show you a few different claps and how they work in Trance. And what I want to show you particularly is the reverbs, how they alter the clap sound, and also how you can make this punchy noise clap sound that you might know but you don't really know that it's a noise sound basically. So let's dive in and check out how this works. So first up we have a 909 clap. I admit this is not the best example, but I was in a hurry, so I'm just using this clap for now. It has already a little bit of reverb on it, so that's something you need to consider always. And let's hear it first in the dry state, and then I will add some reverb. Pretty basic. Now let's add the classic reverb where the clap comes first and then afterwards comes the reverb. And to do this, we set the reverb with a pre-delay. And it works like this. So basically, it's not that hard to do. It's pretty simple actually. You can use any type of reverb that has a pre-delay on it. As you can see here, I've set it to 150 milliseconds. And depending on your song and the tempo, you might want to play around with that. But anywhere from around 150, 200 maybe, or even less is probably a good start. So let's hear it again. And without the EQ that I made, it's a little bit bigger. So let's add back the EQ. Hear how the low end disappears when I move the low end. That's a bit too much probably. Let's go back. I'd say something around here, 700 hertz. It's probably a good place to start. And then you can play around with the top to your liking. Having too much is also probably too much. So making a shelf EQ is probably going to give you the best results. So now let's hear another type of clap using the same 909. This one is more subtle and will blend into the mix, so you don't notice it as much. And here I'm just using a plate, again with the same EQ kind of curve, more or less. It does retain the low end here, but the top is cut off. And as you can see, there's no pre-delay here. Again, too much, but you know, experiment. It might work for some songs to have a little high EQ on the end, on the top end. And this one, I might want to boost if I really want to hear it in the song. Otherwise, it might drown a bit. As you can see over here on the send, it's peaking at -42, so it's not very loud. But you still notice it if I remove it, especially in the song as well when everything is playing. And next you have what I call the noise clap, which is also pretty common in classic trance, and it goes like this. Again, this is the dry version, and basically what it is, it's a sweep, like a noise sweep, that I've shortened it, and then I've low cut it and high cutted it. And basically what it is, it's a noise sweep that I've shortened and EQ'd in different ways. So this is again something you can play around with. You know, take a noise sweep and just shorten it and play around with the EQ settings. You don't want low end and you also don't want too much top end, but play around with it and see if you can make something that sounds good according to your ears. Here I used an SSL plugin, which is one of the few plugins that I like to use if I'm using plugins at all. And as you can see, I also cut out here some low end around 200 hertz and some more around 500 hertz. And then I'm boosting it a bit around 3.5 kilohertz and also boosting around 3 dB at 3.82. Don't ask me why, it just sounded good to me. So I kept it like this. And I've also added some gate and light compression. And without it, it sounds like this. So not a huge difference, but again, something you might want to play around with without choking the noise sound too much. I find this was a good sweet spot. So let's add the reverb so we can hear how the noise clap sounds with the reverb on it. We can start with the pre-delayed one. And because it's such a short sound and really attacky and noisy, so to speak, you really hear it with the reverb on. And it gives a great sound. So let's try the other reverb. It's blending in more. And now with some volume added. And now let's hear everything in a small loop that I make, starting with the 909. And let's start with the bland reverb. I don't really hear it so much, but it's blending in. It's dry. Now let's try the pre-delayed one. Gives it that classic trance feeling. Now let's hear the noise one. So yeah, for this song, the 909 clap, I don't really like it, to be honest, and I don't think it fits with the noise clap. So I would have to look for another one, but for this tutorial it will do. And yeah, that's basically it. So this is how it would sound with a bit of melody. I like the pre-delayed reverb the most for this song, so I would probably work around that and see if I could make it fit really nicely. But this also works. It's less noticeable, it just blends in. And you can use basically any reverb as long as you have a pre-delay on it. And as you can see here, I'm using the, what's it called? I forgot the name, the Hybrid Reverb. Yeah, from Ableton, stock plugin, works great. So you can use that, or you can use the Waves, which is what I usually use. And good old plugin, but still does the job. That's it, guys. I hope you learned something. Don't be afraid to use the stock plugins. Use all the reverbs that you got. Get to know them. Put them on a send. Don't put them directly on the track so you can send multiple claps to the same reverb. Play around with the pre-delay, with the EQ, and maybe even the volume so you can boost it or lower it depending on the song and the feel that you're going for. Leave a comment, share, subscribe, and until next time, I'm Ronele. See you later, Trance Gator.